This is a true horror movie, a film you'll only ever watch once and never forget for as long as you live. This is day 86 of watching a disturbing movie, and this is Mysterious Skin. In 1981, two 8-year-old Little League teammates, Neil and Brian, experience something that alters their lives forever. Neil is coming to terms with his sexuality when he's introduced to his coach, a man just like the one in all of his magazines. He becomes the star player and his coach really starts to pay attention to him. He takes him to his home, plays video games, takes pictures of him, and sexually abuses him. He convinces young Neil that he likes it and that it's okay to accept that part of him. He only has his mother, and truthfully, she's neglectful, so he confuses this attention for affection. As Neil grows up, his trauma shapes how he sees intimacy. By 15, he's meeting and sleeping with older men for money, searching for that same affection he believes he experienced all those years ago. He, alongside his platonic soulmate Wendy, later moved to New York. Wendy warns him that it's not a small town anymore, so he could really seriously get hurt. On a rainy night that same summer of '81, Brian also experienced something traumatic. He suddenly woke up on the floor of his house with a bloody nose and 5 hours of his memory missing. Since Brian can't remember the truth, he creates a different explanation grand enough to hold his fear. He becomes convinced he was abducted by aliens, and in his dreams he sees another boy in his old baseball uniform, but doesn't quite yet understand who it is. Brian sees another woman on TV who suffers from the same belief as him, which he then meets and bonds with. But when she expresses romantic interests, Brian panics and shuts down. Along with his newly acquired friend Eric, who also happens to be friends with Neil, Brian starts connecting the dots and recognizes the boy from his dreams as Neil. After getting viciously assaulted by one of his clients, Neil returns to Kansas for Christmas, and the two boys meet again for the first time since childhood. They go back to the old house where the coach lived, and Neil finally explains to Brian what really happened that night. There wasn't some otherworldly adventure where they were taken by anything from the sky, they were taken advantage of. The blue light Brian remembered wasn't from an alien spaceship, it was just a porch light. Brian's mind shielded him from something he was too young to understand and process. The coach forced them to assault each other and tricked them into doing heinous things. He breaks down because everything he believed in was rewritten into something that was far from grand. Neil spent his entire life running from the truth, chasing what he thought was love. But when he finally stops and internalizes it, he realizes he was toyed with, like the games that were used to entertain him. There was no justice, and no one will ever really know what happened to them. All they could do was comfort each other during the silent night.